This project is a non-traditional Thuringer. It's non-traditional in that it is a cooked sausage. It's not fermented. It's not smoked. We're going to use substitute products in this as the liquid smoke, and we're going to use, to simulate fermentation, citric acid, or you can use fermento, which is a product, or powdered buttermilk. To these ingredients, these things, we're going to add the typical things: the Morton Tender Quick Salt and Cure, the black pepper, crushed black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, the bull binder, which is necessary if you're going to add deer meat. It won't hurt it if you use ground chuck, as we're going to do here, coriander powder, and the optional paprika. Next part of the procedure, we just dry mix the ingredients, then we add the liquids, add them, stir them up, add them to the meat. There's not much to it. Now we just add the spice to the meat and mix by hand. Now, regardless what souring agent you're using, now would be a good time to find out if you didn't put enough in or possibly put too much. We got it mixed by hand. Now we're going to take a little sample over to the microwave, cook it, and taste it. Samples out, and as you can see, we got our color change that we would expect from the nitrates. And I will tell you, when you do fermenting, if you use too many nitrates, too much nitrates, you can turn your meat green. That's not real appetizing. Let me just taste this, see if it tastes, well, like it's supposed to. Probably could have used a little bit more sour bite to it, but not bad at all. Okay, now we've adjusted the recipe. Well, let's see what it does after adding a little citric acid. Now that's pretty good. We're going to salt the water. Doesn't hurt a thing. We're going to heat it up. And then we're going to put our casings in. We're going to get them soaked. They're not going to float when they're full of water. When they get soft, we'll take them over to the press over here, and we'll squeeze our meat product into our casing. We'll hog, wring them off. We'll put them in the oven. We'll cook them. Okay, we've got our plastic down for our clean field. We've got our press here set up. We've got our clamp down. We've got our Thuringer ready to go. We're getting ready to squish us some German sausage. Okay, we now have our casing in the salted water, heating up and softening up, and we'll be ready to stuff it in a little while. Our oven is up to temperature. Let's check our turkey foil. Turkey foil pan is in place for this Thuringer. We're going to stuff the Thuringer next. We've got our meat. We try to cook it pretty quickly anytime you use citric acid in it. I actually use straight citric acid, just a little bit to complement the fermento that was in there. It didn't give quite enough bite. And when you add citric acid, it can break down the meat and make it kind of a chalky, crumbly like, and I wish to avoid that. So I'm trying to get this in the can, pressed, and in the stove. Okay, we're getting ready to stuff the Thuringer. We got our casing. Flip it on, use it in a manner. I'm going to add a little more meat. We're going to do the rest of this one, and we'll do a little baby casing over here. Well, we finished stuffing, and we've broken the unit down. If you'll notice the translucent white tube, you don't see any discoloration. They are better to use than say the dark heavy red ones or blue ones, that sort of thing. Those with a little color, because they can kind of mask anything that's in there, but you can see that that one's clean. Take your air valve out, clean your threads, your piston apart, your threads on your nut, clean your ring, When you can, be sure to get those threads, anything you use in the process. Why is this Thuringer different than any other cooked sausage we've previously done? Thuringers, like mini sausage, mini salamis, are actually fermented if it's done traditionally. Why don't we ferment this sausage? And the answer is simple: because done incorrectly, it can kill you and a few other people along the way. So we're going to simulate fermentation. The original reason they fermented is because they didn't have refrigeration, nothing would stay, and so it would deteriorate. It'd either go one state or another. So by fermenting it, they were able to essentially pickle the meat. Now, when you pickle it, you drive the pH down and make it acidic. Here is a product, AquaCheck. This is made for checking water. It's not made for checking meat. It does pH. Now water, neutral water, is at 7. And this is water we used in our recipe. It is a reverse osmosis filter water. And I'm going to dip this in, take it out immediately, hold it straight for 15 seconds. Then I'm going to compare it to the color chart. And this is why they're not very accurate. Because when we check our colors, our eyes can do a little interpretation for us, and that will skew it. Okay, there we are. Where's our color? Right at 7. It's neutral, as we would expect reverse osmosis water to be. Let's check some of these juices off of this meat. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to dip it in, take it out immediately, hold it. Okay, now do you see where we're going with the color? We were way up here. Do you see how much greener that is? We're down this direction. And we're down this direction because we added products that would change the pH. We added acids, the citric acid. We added fermento, which is a special product that they don't really give you a good job of telling you what's in it. But it drops the pH. Now, rinse that off. Can you see the color comparison? I do this only to show you that the acidification and tartness is brought in there by the added ingredients. Now that's the Thuringer with the simulated ferment and with the simulated smoke. Alright, here's a little piece. Now, I used that fermento product, 3/4 cups I think is what it works out to, 5 ounces. And I also used a half a teaspoon of straight citric acid, non-encapsulated, just straight citric acid. And does this look too crumbly to suit you? If it is, you may look for acidification some other way, but citric acid is about as economical as you can go. 1.5 pounds of that fermento is about 15 bucks, and the same thing goes for encapsulated citric acid. You may also look for powdered buttermilk. Straight powdered buttermilk will give you a nice kind of tang to it, but tastes all right. I don't think it's too crumbly. What do you think?